How are we doing? It is time to reveal my big ideas. Anyway, before we do that, I was editing some files real quick, so I wanna finish that before I get to the things. And otherwise, I got not much else to add to that. I got the game running in the background. And my own stream apparently. And apart from that, not much else. Let me open the window for you guys so you guys can actually follow what's going on. Here we go. Got that going. So I'm just gonna finish this up real quick. It will take 10 minutes maybe. Maybe shorter if we're lucky. How many more is it? Like 20 something? I added a shit ton of new quests. Really nice. Good stuff. And I'm just profiting off of that by making my own thing. And hopefully something that someone else might enjoy, but you know. Mostly for my owners. That's 2 bosses. And then I do wonder, do I have to restart the server? Or will it straight up read the files like it is right now? I do not know. We will find out together. Oh, I saw some people waiting in chat a moment ago. I don't know if they're still around, or if there's gonna be people around. I was hoping people would be, just, you know, popping in, saying hi. Even though that's usually not the case, that's fine. But considering tomorrow and what I have in store for this stream today, I was hoping, you know, hint hint, that would have a bit of a party of sorts. You know, I'm not really one for parties, but I felt like it. Regardless, I'm still gonna do whatever I'm gonna do. Nice, I like short quests. How many more? Still a bunch. This seems to be a collection quest. The Timeless Castle. Ooh. Is that Dread Castle? Hint, hint. People just aren't ready for the expansion. People really aren't. was honestly, you know, aside from the Unmoored World, I was actually expecting Dragon's Dogma 2 to go a bit more crazy with its whole storytelling, but can't have everything, I suppose. That said, it's a pretty good setup. For the hint what I've got in store for tonight. Another one done. Next. Yeah. Do it again. Do, 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 do. I should have done this before the stream, but then I decided I wanted to explore and test my stuff out. So now we're here. uh, that's how it is. Are we almost there yet? I thought it was like 20 quests, man. This is like fucking 40 quests. Jesus. My coffee's gonna be cold by the time I'm done with this. I'm complaining about all the quests. It's nice. After the dragon. man. All the way up to there. Jesus. Okay. Almost there. But at the speed that the private server is going, I mean, give it a year maybe, at most, to keep this up. And I'm finally having to stop bug testing as well. Can't wait for that day, man. Can't be too soon. Man, I'm still in there. What the fuck? That's the last one. Alright. The end is nigh. It wasn't even 40 quests, it's freaking, oops. Freaking like 50 quests, man, what the fuck? Someone's as mad as me. Editing all these files. Or in the person's case for creating those quests, but same time consuming. And mostly brain dead work. It's gonna be this one quest somewhere in the list is gonna be like 103 now in the quest info screen. I just know it. Doesn't really matter, but I like things cohesive. Yeah. Last four. Almost there. And almost cold coffee. Last one. Here we are. Alright then. Yeah. Now I do wonder, does the server read that straight away, or...
Master, 道具とか依頼の確認はいいの?
It does not. That's a shame. Unless that's a quest I missed. Nope, it does not. Right. So anyway, I was hoping some people would have dropped in by now, because that would make this more fun, but... Oh well, I suppose. So, let's see here. Guess I'll just mute the game then, and get some music in the background. So, guys, what I have here is the one and only theory of a lifetime. And the reason I called it that is because I picked out every little detail from everywhere in DD2 and stitched it back together into something that I mean, I would say cannot be denied, but there's always people, and they have to see it to believe it, which is fine. But and I mean, on the other hand, it's just kind of funny being considered maybe kind of the crazy theorist guy or whatever. I don't know. It's not actually been called that, but you know, it's yeah. So anyway, I've done some write-ups on Reddit a couple of months ago about some of this stuff, actually. And I may have done a video. Did I do a video about one of these things? Hold on. I don't know. Now I am curious. Did I? Did or did I not? I did not whatsoever, actually. Wow. Nice. So this is a fun first timer then. Yeah. Fun times. So, around the entire map of Dragon's Dogma 2, you can see right next to the water surface. You can see like black rock or like molten, but you know, magma lava that has become stone again, you know, which ties into just more than one thing, because you know there is a volcano in DD2, and there's also one in Dragon's Dogma Online. Is there one in DD1? I don't know. I don't think so, or at least, you know, it's not, well, I suppose the, whatchamacallit, I haven't played Dark Arisen in like months. The area before you fight Gregory, or the Red Dragon, I shouldn't say Gregory because that's stupid. Anyway, the black rock around water surface and stuff. So you have that around, like, yeah, the water surface, and then in the Unmoored world you have what we would call in the real world is extrusive igneous rock, which is like the weird circly stuff that you can only see in the Unmoored world, like where you're under the water surface, but you know there is no water, so that kind of rock in our world only forms when it's like really hot and then cools down really quickly, and that is how that forms, and that's what you see in the Unmoored world. There are loading screens in Dragon's Dogma 2 which hint at a sort of calamity or an earthquake happening, and the pawns and the lady at the hot springs, the shop lady, that wants to move, you know, she's like, I don't get any customers, so I want to move because, you know, the volcano is kind of, you know, active and stuff, and you know, no customers because of that. And then you have the inn lady also, who's like, yeah, you better just stay at the inn because you'll just wake up underneath you know, a thick layer of ash. So the volcano is active, the pawns mention it rumbling as well, and the loading screens mention the earthquake, which I said earlier, and the loading screens also mention the dungeons, like the Godsbane door dungeons that are closed right now, which is obviously going to be part of the not released content yet, which, you know, ties into the theory of, you know, there's only one thing that could make that open, is an earthquake, or, you know, more likely, considering the extrusive igneous rock, the molten lava around the water surfaces, or the cool of lava, I should say, the, again, extrusive igneous rock formations in the Unmoored world, it all hints at a volcanic eruption, because that's the only realistic conclusion you can get to you know. On top of that, in every single game, every single Dragon's Dogma, there's multiple civilizations that have literally gone up in ash. Like, you can see ruins everywhere. Like, I don't even have to try in this game either. Where shall we go? You know what? I don't need, literally, if we just walk outside, let me get a little lantern going. If we just walk outside here, which brings me to another thing as well, which is kind of funny, is I don't have to, you know, the rock formations over here, they look similar to something, and we could say that it's different, but I don't think it is, because, you know, it's an older game. But these rock formations over here, and there's dire wolves all the place over there, so, you know, we're already in combat. Well, maybe the pawns will take care of it. This kind of, you know, looks like the ruins of a little something in Batal, you know? Maybe not exactly, but, you know, this game is like freaking 10 years old at this point, so. And they're probably just gonna rewrite a bunch of it anyway. But yeah, that already hints at what my entire conclusion to this entire thing is we're gonna get the DDoN 2, DDoN remake, DDoN story something? I don't know, something along those lines. But anyway, that's getting way ahead of myself. Ruins scattered across Batal, vermins, you know, the one I'm standing on right now. Next we have the end of the cycle for Dragon's Dogma 2, because there's an achievement for that as well. But is it really? Because, you know, whatever your interpretation of that is, when we have the ending of Dragon's Dogma Online and the beginning of Dragon's Dogma 2, which is also, I'm getting way ahead of myself again. But what I personally think, you know, might shock some people, because, well, in Dragon's Dogma 2, the current cycle might end. It will all just start anew again. You know, one cycle isn't a mere few hundred years or a couple of millennia, as Dragon's Dogma 2 made obvious. But even eventually, after so many years, the cycle will start anew. But there's one caveat. The cycle isn't what people think it is. It's not simply about an arisen taking up arms against a dragon, their assigned dragon. Or in this case, for Dragon's Dogma 1 and Dragon's Dogma 2, the Red Dragon. Not Gregory, the Red Dragon. I will fight on that hill. Anyway. Dragon's Dogma 2's story isn't actually finished yet. You know, like I said earlier, the sequel of Dragon's Dogma 2 is Dragon's Dogma Online. I'm pretty much 95% sure at this point, after having replayed the first season with the new translation patch. And Dragon's Dogma 2 is pretty much the perfect setup to make that happen. And, you know, a lot of people think that Dragon's Dogma 2 is like just a retelling of the first game, but it's so much more than that. But a lot of people can't look past just the surface level of what's being told. They don't look to the lore and things, and they're like, yeah, awesome combat, or, you know, average combat for some people in DD2, and they're like, yeah, Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen is holy grail. And then we have Dragon's Dogma Online, which is already way better than Dark Arisen, but, you know, I'll also fight on that hill. You know, I mentioned the igneous rock, I mentioned past civilizations and the cycle. And among all those findings, one such a recent finding of mine actually kind of baffled me as well, because I was like, it makes so much sense, and I'm actually gonna go grab this over here, and we're gonna go to Dragon's Dogma 2 on more worlds map. We're obviously in the spoiler zone for people somehow not aware. Why is it like this? This is a shit website. I don't want this website. Can we get the wiki? Is this better? No, this is worse. Here we go. Just an image is fine. I would like a better image. Oh, there we go. Can we zoom in? Ah, here we go. This is the website I wanted. So, you know, about Melf, right? There is something special about Melf in the Underworld world. So this is where we get into the nitty-gritty of things. And where I turn up the music slightly, because we need to. So we have got this area, right? And we look to this over here a little bit. So we know Melf is gone. This is pretty much a crater, right? Well, let me show you something. I'm gonna go all the way over here. Would you look at that? We have got this castle over here on the edge, and it just happens to be like that. And this is just all crater. Crater, 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 and that's just the end of the map, but yeah. Massive, massive crater. You can actually, I don't know if I put crystal to that right now. But yeah, crater. And it just so happens that, you know, a little something's up and happened to Melf, where, you know, the entire area was just kaboomed. So, that's another hint. Which brings me to the other thing. Exactly where Melf would be in Dragon's Dogma 2. And I hope you can follow this. From where you can find Moonglint Mushroom in Dragon's Dogma Online, which would be in over here, which just so happens to be near a volcano, or, well, not in this case a volcano, it's just rocks here now, but there is some hot springs over here, which hints at, you know, a volcano, although an inactive one. So yeah, let's see. So this is where you can find Moonglint's mushrooms. So in the crater from over here is all the way. Are we good? Are we going well? All the way, but literally right on top of it. So look at that. Isn't that convenient? Because we Kenoza, Golden Mines, Unactive Volcano, Melf, Obliterated, Crater, Margoda, Crater. Wow, isn't that like pretty much exactly, you know? So there's that. And then you can find in Dragon's Dogma Online, you can find the Moonglint mushrooms right from where Moonglint Tower would be in Dragon's Dogma 2. So that's fun. And I mentioned the hot springs in Dragon's Dogma 2 over here, exactly where the hot springs are in Dragon's Dogma Online and Dragon's Dogma 2, both. Itsuno mentioned how every little detail in DD2 was deliberate. It wasn't by accident, it wasn't mere coincidence or anything like that. It was deliberate. Every little detail was deliberate. This is no mere coincidence. None of it is. So, from these findings and pretty much everything I've mentioned in the past, Eternal Return will happen again. DDON's ending, actually. Spoilers for the MMO. If you haven't played it yet, you want to play it in the future. One of the main antagonists wanting to reset the world order. So there can only be one Arisen, because in Dragon's Dogma Online, there's like shit ton of Arisens, because the White Dragon wants to make more Arisen so they can protect him from whatever. Essentially meaning that everything that happens in Dragon's Dogma 2 and everything that will happen in the expansion that we will be doing in the expansion, it will all be for naught. It will all be for naught. Like I said, everything will just rehash itself. Full circle, Ouroboros, whatever the fucks, you know. Full circle, and in DD2, it was established that will is the power to shape the world as one desires. Unlike many things, I think these words need to be taken at face value. Dragon's Dogma 1 actually established this when the Essential creates a human copy of your Arisen. And the second dragon that you fight in the true ending of Dragon's Dogma 2 has done just such a thing. It shaped the world as it wanted, creating a vacuum in which Dragon's Dogma 1 and Dragon's Dogma 2 take place. Because, you know, in Dragon's Dogma 1 we don't actually get to the Unknown World, we just follow the Eternal Return, or, you know, just a kind of bubble that DD1 takes place and that DD2 is moving out of and eventually back into. But, you know, I think that's the craziest thing about this whole, dude. It's just gonna go full circle, and you know, the best games, the best series take place in trilogies, and I think Dragon's Dogma is gonna be a trilogy, and then it's just gonna be that. That's it. That's done. Finished. So there's another quote. The order of things is far more fragile than we have been led to believe, and that's a quote from Dragon's Dogma Online's opening. I will come back to that in a moment. In DD2, you can find excavation sites that mention an artifact of immense size. There are artifacts of immense size, not very far from here, actually. Again, deliberate. Let's do I have the port crystal there? I do. Let me just teleport there real quick so we can have a look at this artifact of immense size. Let's see. Let's put up. Let's do this. Actually, not that one, because that one is bad. Let's do this one. Right. Artifact of immense size. Well, it's big. Certainly big. Big enough to be of immense size. Peculiar about this one is... well, for one, it can create dimensional portals. No lesser dragons needed, no easily disrupted rituals. They do require one thing though, a life force. And people aren't really familiar with life force yet. There's two instances in DD2 where you can see life force. One very peculiar, and the other just kind of, I don't know, it's kind of somewhere in the middle. The one somewhere in the middle is when you use, I don't know what it's called, like Revivify or something. It's a spell for getting 2 times speed, which you can get from mages, like the red small orb thingies. I don't know how that ties into the lore exactly because it's not really explained. I also didn't read the spell description, so it's lax on my part, but whatever. The other one is the opening of DD2, which is another thing about the full circle part here. Let me go grab that actually, because we're gonna watch that, because I've got something to say about that as well. Opening. Let's see here. No. Is this the right one? Oh, it is. I actually watched it. There you go. No, go back. I hope my stream is not gonna lag because I'm gonna watch this now. We'll see, I suppose. Oh yeah, about this. Do I actually have something to say about this? Well, conviction is the human will that reaches its greatest power. My conviction being that I want all the games to be connected. Anyway, that's kind of irrelevant, I think, though. Listen very closely to this cutscene. Pay very close attention. I'll stop right there. Did anyone notice? This had 2 things. I'll play it again. The dragon is slain, and they say the dragon vanished. Those are conflicting. The dragon was slain, which is the red dragon, and the dragon vanished, which is the second dragon. Which brings us to where this takes place, because this intro is like mega ultra weird, right? When you first play the game. The cool thing about this is that the opening is actually either the beginning of the expansion or I'm not really sure what or. It's kind of hard to explain, but time travel shenanigans is most of it. Anyway, let's go fast forward. We're gonna go sit on the throne. We're gonna get a drink. And then something strange happens. after Brian does his
Before you
speech.
sits the rightful inheritor of the Draken throne, chosen by the dragon as its enemy. Behold and rejoice.
Which brings me back to
Has delivered us our
something I
savior
mentioned
at
earlier
last.
about life force.
Praise be, for only the sovereign's guidance can lead us true. All hail the sovereign! Let all present.
And people are gonna be like, no, but the dragon talks to us. No,
Be united in the hope
that's
that
not what
we
happens
reign
here.
when they are end.
Not exactly, anyway.
Long live the sovereign of Vermont!
So, the funny thing about this whole weird red glowy stuff is that anytime this happens, just it's not really explainable what exactly happens. Like people suddenly changing their minds, partly due to the whatchamacallit guy, Watcher, whatever the fuck he's called. I forgot his name. Jesus Christ, I'm bad. Anyway, that guy with the robes. Yeah, I don't know. This thing isn't really explainable because the hard thing about this is we don't really even know what the fuck's going on, you know? Anyway, we start seeing some red glowy stuff. And they start to become more apparent as stuff happens. We're not poisoned because we didn't drink anything, so we can't be poisoned. But then we get over here. Not but thine ambition can alter the course of the rivers of fate. Did I already say the other thing? Where is it? No, I did not yet. Let's see. Where are we? Man, this has become such a mess. Anyway, the full quote of the opening of Dragon's Dogma 2 is as follows. We have no choice but to believe the Great Order is far more fragile than we have been led to believe, because one man's ambition has changed the way the world is. Not but thine ambition. With everything that I've talked about before and all the little details that I've mentioned in past videos and everything, it's no coincidence, dude. No freaking way. Believe what you will, but we're gonna change the course of the rivers of fate itself, which makes sense because the ending of DD2 is the beginning of that, basically. Which brings me to my last part. Well, what I mentioned earlier as well. Does this city have flaws? Probably. Does it have massive holes? Sure, whatever. I merely came to inform, entertain, and sadly, no one in the comments, but whatever. Yeah, this is where we are. Actually, one last thing before we didn't actually even play Dragon's Dogma Online, and I don't really feel like because there's no one to play for. It's whatever. Twitter. Actually, I have the what's this for? Not overload. Anyway, I have it over here. What does that look like? Doesn't that look like some familiar boyo? Let's see. But for those who don't have reference, here we go. I got you covered. Oh, this one's better. Oh, no. Actually, it's my own video. Wow. Thanks, Google. It looks a little bit different, but eh, close enough, I suppose. We have seen a few, especially the swings. Like the swings doesn't look anything like the Dragon's Dogma Line one. Excuse me. Um, but yeah, that's a Manticore here. So look forward to tomorrow. That's why I wanted to do this video now, because if anything, I'm gonna be proven right tomorrow. So yeah. Anyway, it's pretty much all I've got to say. And for anyone who's watched, I hope you did enjoy. And yeah, I'll look forward to tomorrow's reveal of the expansion, because if it's not tomorrow, then what the fuck. Take care.